Hey, what's going on, guys? Gothic 1 Remake just got a pretty chunky update. The first thing that jumps out is the new lockpick difficulty indicator. That is a pretty big deal because lockpicking in this remake has already been one of the most talked about parts of the game. Players have been saying for days that the system can be confusing, and even guides have started popping up just to explain how it works. So adding a difficulty indicator feels like the devs are basically saying, alright, we hear you, and we are giving you a clearer read before you waste time and picks on something that is way above your current level. Alongside that, there are localization and text fixes, which sounds minor, but in a game like this, little wording issues can make menus, quests, and interactions feel awkward way longer than they should. Then there is the technical side, and this is where the patch starts looking really practical. They fixed some forge station interactions, which should help if you have been getting stuck doing the usual crafting and interaction stuff around town. They also fixed crashes tied to DLSS and FSR, which matters a lot for anyone trying to get smoother performance with upscaling on. On top of that, economy exploits got patched out, so no more easy money tricks if you were trying to game the system. The main menu and exit game buttons are now disabled until the save is actually written properly, which is one of those fixes that sounds tiny until you realize it is protecting people from losing progress because they got a little too impatient. Add in audio improvements for footsteps and attacks, combat magnet and targeting fixes, better NPC navigation, crossbow disappearing issues, archery fixes, wall climbing improvements, memory improvements, and a batch of crash fixes, and it is pretty obvious the goal here is stability first, polish second, and then everything else after that. What I also like about this update is that it is not just the usual technical cleanup. There is a lot of quest work in here too, and that is the kind of stuff that can make or break a playthrough. Forged Rivalries now properly marks as completed, no matter which outcome you choose, which is the kind of thing that saves people from staring at an unfinished objective and wondering what went wrong. They fixed ownership issues for Swamp Camp Forge chests and Old Camp Forge items, and they also handled a bunch of quest blockers like Torres's quest not starting, becoming a fire mage, getting blocked, Gorn not joining the troll fight, and Cyrus being stuck for players who already beat Bullet. There are also specific quest and NPC behavior tweaks like Theron approaching you to finish his quest, Thoris permission for Swamp Camp members being obtainable in different ways, Terok and blackmailers behaving correctly, and several navigation and level fixes. That is the kind of patching that quietly saves a lot of saves. The balancing changes are worth mentioning too, because tougher endgame spells, adjusted creature stats, and tweaks to enemies like Stone Golems and Gomez suggest the team is still tuning how the late game actually feels, not just cleaning up bugs. Stone Golems now have reduced resistance to wind spells, but at the same time they have higher health and stronger resistances in other areas, which should make those encounters feel a little different depending on how you approach them. Gomez has also become tougher, with increased health, stronger resistances, and a larger area attack range. Beyond that, several creatures across the world have received balancing updates, including biters, bloodflies, harpies, Minecrawler queens, Minecrawler warriors, orcdogs, razors, snappers, and zombies. If you have spent enough time in the colony, chances are you are going to notice at least some of these adjustments during regular exploration and combat. The audio and presentation side got some love as well. There is a continuous sound effect for the healing spell now. Zardas's Demon has a voice effect, music transitions in the old camp castle are fixed, more ambient sound effects have been added to the world, and lightning sounds are behaving more reliably instead of weirdly firing from underground. There are also volume adjustments and balancing changes across various sound effects, plus improved ducking during conversations, so dialogue should come through more clearly when other sounds are happening around you. Looking at everything together, this feels like a patch focused on making the overall experience smoother from start to finish. It tackles crashes, performance issues, quest progression problems, combat frustrations, navigation quirks, audio inconsistencies, and even some progression exploits. None of these changes completely alter the game, but collectively they should make a noticeable difference during a normal playthrough. A lot of the fixes target situations where players could get stuck, miss rewards, fail to trigger important events, or run into behavior that simply did not work as intended. That is really the biggest takeaway here. The developers are focusing on the parts of the experience that players interact with every single hour they spend in the game, whether it is lockpicking, combat targeting, quest progression, NPC behavior, spell effects, sound design, or overall stability. The goal seems to be making sure the world functions more consistently. For anyone already playing through Gothic 1 Remake, this update should remove a lot of the friction points people have been reporting and make the journey through the colony feel a lot more polished.